it's a tiny moth. Hello. Jono. You alright?
Hello, mate.
It is episode 5, season 3. We're still doing this. Why, you ask? Nobody knows, but we're here. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I am absolutely boiling.
Yeah,
I've still got my fan on. I'm going to turn that off.
Yeah, I've still got my window wide open. I need to pull that too. Do you know what, screw it. This might be the episode where you possibly hear lots of outside noise because it's so hot today and my fan's died. Other than the heat, how are you doing?
Yeah, all good, all good. Although I have just seen some rather sad news.
Yeah?
Argos have axed their Book of Dreams.
Oh, the Book of Dreams!
Yeah.
It's become an actual nightmare.
After 48 years, they've axed it.
That's a long time.
That's, all the childhood memories leading up to like birthdays or Christmas, laying on the floor, circling all the items you want.
I did love that, I won't lie. It was the best. You were a young kid and you were just like, you'd go through Argos. I don't know how we didn't disbelieve this lie. But you'd go through all the Argos and you'd be like, great, sure Santa has one of those. Joey, what do I want? I want this and this and this. But they come from Argos. It's fine, I'm sure Santa has an Argos near him.
Yeah, he's got a trade account.
Oh, bless him. I can't remember exactly what he says, but after this, Google Bill Bailey talking about Argos.
Oh, yes.
He's just like, the laminated Book of Dreams.
Yep, that is exactly
Stop
it.
the tears of joy from ruining the pages. The keepers of the treasure at the back. Getting your treasure. Quick, come to me, bring the treasure. Oh, Bill Bailey's a great man.
Yes, he is.
Talking of great men, what have I called you this week?
You have called me Mockingjay.
Yeah. So we've had Jono, aka Best Dude. We've had J Dog. We've had J Dizzle. Oh no, Jono, aka Best Dude. Was that last season?
Yes, I think it was.
Yeah. So we've had J Dog, J Dizzle. Whatever last episode was.
Vitamin J,
and now Mockingjay. That one I'm pretty happy with. I thought of it very quickly. I invited you into the session and was just like, fuck. I was like, just about to hit send. I was like, I don't know what I'm naming him.
Well, I'm glad you managed to think of something. If it was just Jono, I would have been quite disappointed.
Yeah, often when it's just Jono, I'm disappointed.
Rude.
Mockingjay. Right, so give me the 2 words per story that you have for this week.
Right.
That's like become a new thing, right? That wasn't in season 2.
No, this is definitely a new thing.
I think I just made it happen.
I have April Fools and Nice Karens.
Nice Karens?
Yeah, 2 words you wouldn't think would go together.
Not unless like someone's just renamed boobs Karens. You got some nice Karens. Don't know why they're out in public, but there's some lovely Karens. All right, I've got serial killer and official UFO. I'm counting UFO as one word.
I'll allow it.
Even if you hadn't, it's out there now.
Yeah, I mean, what can I do about it?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, you started last week.
Yep.
So I'll start this week.
That sounds fair.
Yeah. And I can't say the sentence I'm going to say. I was going to say, and if I'm anything, it's fair. But then I couldn't figure that sentence out. So I went, if anything, and do the fairs. Okay. Now, Jono, it is 11 o'clock at night.
Yes, it is.
Let that sink in for people, okay? But more importantly, why is there a kitchen sink at your front door? That's not what I meant. Let that sink in. I'm about to read out to you disturbing serial killer facts.
Oh no.
Not one of them. Not 2 of them. Not 5. Not 10. Not 15. But 21 of them.
Oh God.
I went through them and I was just like, I might just narrow it down to 10. And then I was like, actually, they're all kind of cool. Some of them are a bit more disturbing than others. Are you ready?
Oh, never, but go on.
Do you know who Ed Kemper is?
I don't think so.
The worrying thing is I read through this and I realised I know most of the serial killers and also what they did and how they did it. And I need to stop caring that much about serial killers.
Well,
I don't listen to any true crime podcasts, but I know a lot about true crime. Not good. Should probably stop committing them. So, Ed Kemper, the co-ed killer, used his mother's decapitated head as a dartboard after he killed and sexually assaulted her.
well,
He also, Ed Kemper, has voiced many audiobooks while in prison, including Star Wars and Flowers in the Attic.
as you do.
Yeah. Robert Picton, the pig farm killer, would process his victims' bodies in the same processor that he put the pigs in to make ground pork. So it's very likely that the townspeople he serviced unknowingly ate human remains.
Oh, a bit Sweeney Toddish there, isn't it?
Yeah. Jeffrey Dahmer convinced police that his escaped injured victim was his partner and they were having a lover's quarrel. That's a scary thing. Imagine that. You make it out and then the police go, "Oh, you crazy young lovers. Back in you go." Rosemary and Fred West murdered half their children and would tell the living children to behave or they would end up under the patio, like the other kids.
Wow.
I like the idea that, like, one of the... I mean, don't get me wrong, don't kill kids, but I like the idea that, like, one of the kids was just being a bastard, because kids are often bastards, and, you like, one of them would go outside and be like, "Oh, oh," like, "Oh, what's that? It's your brother under the patio. Do you want to visit him? Forever?" And then they'd be like, "Sorry." Yeah, right, stop being a bastard.
You don't even have to say anything. You just go outside and start lifting up a paving slab. And they're just like, no, 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 no.
You just drag a shovel back from the shed. Joseph D'Angelo, the Golden State Killer, called one of his surviving victims year after the assault and said, "I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you." I don't know if he whispered, but for dramatic effect. He also told the cops that he had a roast cook in the oven when police showed up to arrest him. That's weird. Can you imagine that? They rock up and he's like, "Oh, not now." Midway through a roast. I got my family round.
I can set some more plates.
Do you know what? Maybe I won't do all 21. If I think they're shit as I read them, I won't read them out to you.
All right.
Okay, so do you know who Dennis Rader was, the BTK killer?
No.
Well, he was the president of his church. Not okay. Israel Keys kidnapped a girl and sent her family a photo of her body for ransom money. The victim was assumed to be alive, but actually she was dead. Keys had sewn her eyes open to make her appear alive in the photo.
Oh.
Yeah. Rodney Alka won The Dating Game, which was a dating show, while in the middle of his killing spree. So he went on TV and won the dating game in the middle of killing people. I mean, good work.
That's great.
Richard Chase, the vampire of Sacramento, would check doors of homes to see if they were locked. He believed unlocked doors were an invitation.
I mean, no.
Are they not?
No.
Oh, that explains a lot of the mishaps that I've been involved in. Richard Chase was also interviewed while he was in prison, and during it, he pulled out a handful of mac and cheese and handed it to the interviewer because he believed that the guards had been poisoning his food. Imagine, the reason I like that fact is imagine being the interviewer. "What have you got in your pocket there, mate?" "Mac and cheese." "Right, okay. Thank you, Mr. Chase." Ted Bundy requested for his ashes to be spread in the Cascade Mountains of Washington State, the same place where 4 of his victims had been found. And that request was fulfilled.
Oh, not Disney World.
Not Disney World. No. Michael Swongo was a licensed physician who bounced from hospital to hospital, killing his victims with a lethal injection. I don't like that.
I had the picture of him just like working at different hospitals and traveling between them on a space opera.
Boom, 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 boom. Can you hear that? No, it's okay. It's okay. It's old Mikey Swongo, isn't it? The reason that that one messes me up a little bit more is because all the others, like, you're like, typical serial killer, or yeah, that's kind of weird. But
Yeah.
that one, you just like, you'd be at your most vulnerable because you're
Yeah.
in hospital.
Yeah.
You're like, someone's here to help me. I don't need an injection. That's how quickly you die, clearly. Robert Hansen, the butcher baker, but not the candlestick maker, was a serial killer from Alaska. This is the first time I've read this far, so I'm so happy that joke came out. Who would kidnap women and let them loose in the wilderness, only to hunt them down and kill them. Maybe the butcher baker and the nightmare maker.
That does seem more accurate.
Yeah. The Oakland County child killer, whose identity is still unknown, kidnapped and killed Timmy King. When Timmy was reported missing, his mother wrote a letter to the local newspaper begging for his safe return so that she could feed him his favourite meal, KFC. It wasn't 3D printed. When Timmy's body was found, there was chicken remnants in his stomach.
Mm.
So, I mean, at least he had a good last meal. Maybe. There might have been 3D nugs. Leonardo? Why did I read the one with the difficult last name? Cianculi, maybe? Or Cianculi? I don't know. Killed 3 women in her Italian hometown because she believed their sacrifice would keep would keep her son safe during World War II. Bit weird. And the last one, this one weirds me out. I can see her staring at me as well. I don't like it. Nanny Doss, the giggling nanny, got her nickname because when she would talk about murdering her husbands, she would giggle. And it's not too creepy, but I can see a photo of her and she's laughing and looking at the camera.
Oh dear.
So I'm like, I feel like I'm in that conversation. So there is some reasons not to sleep. I think the first one catches me most, the Ed Kemper one.
Yeah.
But then Ed Kemper was he was a very educated and like generally interesting person to talk to, apparently. And that's the way he's portrayed in everything that I've ever seen, like a character of his being portrayed.
Yeah.
But loved killing people and chopping their heads off.
Well, we all have our vices.
Yeah, overall, not a great guy. He's lovely to talk to, but he tried cutting my fucking head off. We've all got our kinks, but come on. That's that for that one. What were your 2 options again? There was nice Karens.
Yep, and April Fools.
Oh, let's just do them in order.
Yeah?
Yeah, why not?
All right, so April Fools first.
Yeah, do it.
Cool. Right, so this was back in 1971, and Representative Tom Moore Jr. of Waco, Texas, knew that his fellow legislators in the Texas House of Representatives often passed bills and resolutions without fully reading or understanding them. So he pulled a little April Fool's joke on them, and he sponsored a resolution commending Albert DeSalvo for his unselfish service for his county, his state, and his community. The resolution read in part, "This compassionate gentleman's dedication and devotion to his work has enabled the weak and the lonely throughout the nation to achieve and maintain a new degree of concern for their future. He has been officially recognized by the state of Massachusetts for his noted activities and unconventional techniques involving population control and applied psychology." The joke, of course, is that Albert DeSalvo was more commonly known as the Boston Strangler.
Yeah, the name rang a bell. The name rang a bell, as I said before any of the things I just said about serial killers. Look at us bringing serial killers to the podcast.
Yeah.
What a creepy thing to bring. Side note, sorry, I know I'm tangenting mid your subject. I get worried sometimes, right? Because we talk about weird things in this podcast, and some are generally sociably acceptably weird. There's a lot of Lee ending words there. Kind of got wrapped up in them. But, you know, you talk about something or a group of things with someone, and then you hear it a million times while you're editing certain thing. And then you think that that's okay to talk to anyone about. And I have a genuine fear that I'm going to know all of these weird things that have happened. I'm just worried that I'm going to be sat at like a barbecue and be like, oh, that's really funny, actually. Yeah, no, Ed Kemper was really similar, but he liked to sexually assault people and then cut their heads off. And just say it in like a passing comment, and everyone at the barbecue will be like, bro. I'll be like, no, I completely understand your concern there. I'm very sorry. And then the thing is as well, following that, you're not too sure how the crowd's going to take it when your response is, I run a podcast. Do you know what I mean? Some people, this is genuine. Some people, they'll go, oh, so what do you do? You know, in your spare time, what do you do? You know, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, well, you know, I'm in a band. You guys know that. And also, I run a podcast with a friend and it's doing quite well. And some people are like, bro, podcasts are so cool. I listen to all the time. What's your podcast? Let me know. I want to tell you. Don't tell me. It's mine. I want to listen. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And then I share it out. And, you know, and then my friends, I'm quite lucky. My friends are dicks, which means they'll give me honest feedback. But sometimes people go, oh, a podcast. And you go, oh, that's the end of that conversation. You know for a fact that people then are just like, oh, that's cool. What do you talk about? And you know if the person isn't that interested, it's hard to then explain our podcast to someone. Sometimes I just go, pop culture, unsolved mysteries, news headlines, and tech, which is like a rough thing of what we talk about.
Yeah.
And then they go, oh, okay, cool. And then sometimes you've got the third type of person who really doesn't like podcasts that will, without meaning to, just go, people listen to this? And it's at that point that before I couldn't, but now, because, you know, growth's gone well, I can go, yes, lots of people, and then show them. Before it was like, yeah, some people, yeah, we're doing okay. And I was like, they heard the lie in my voice. But now, weirdly, the answer is yes, lots of people. And that's not a lie. So, go us. Now, I'm very sorry. Please go back to telling me about your April Fool's prank.
So the Albert DeSalvo was more commonly known as Boston Strangler.
Yes.
He was assumed to be responsible for the murders of 13 women in the Boston area between 1962 and 1964. Technically, he was never convicted or put on trial for any of those killings, but he was sentenced to life in prison for sexual assaults on several other women and confessed to the 13 murders as well. As Representative Moore expected, he saw his resolution passed unanimously, and then he withdrew it and explained that he had offered the motion only to demonstrate a point. So, I mean, you kind of hope that your representatives kind of put a bit of work into...
At least fucking read it. You know?
It's their job.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
And we take our jobs very seriously. And that's why this podcast isn't our job. No, yeah, I mean, I imagine there's a lot of reading involved, but you gotta check shit out.
Yeah.
You can't just be being like, yeah, that's fine. We'll throw that out there. Everyone can see that. That's fine. But who found this information? Did you say that he then points out that he did it, or
Yeah. Oh, it was after it was passed. He withdrew it and explained that he had offered the motion just to demonstrate.
Sorry, yeah, I think I slightly didn't hear that part of the sentence.
Okay, yeah.
It would have been so much funnier if it got out into public consumption.
Yeah.
So much funnier. I think at this point I'd have been like, fuck it, in for a penny, in for a pound.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe if it's because one of your fellow representatives put something forward, you just trust them more. But I mean, obviously, he had a reason to try this.
I like the idea that the person who put it forward hadn't put anything forward ever, and they're always like, "Come on, mate, put something forward. We won't laugh. We'll take it seriously. Come on, got to get involved with the lads. Come on, we're all putting things forward. Oh yeah, come on, mate, it'd be great." And then he went, "Fine, I'll put something fucking forward." And they went, "Look, it's his first one. We can't fucking deny it. Just put it out there, mate." That's how I imagine government works.
If there's a House of Representatives version of saying, "Oh, if I just do these dishes really badly, they won't ask me again."
Yeah, that's basically that. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to do this anymore. I'll just do it terribly. Well, that's the kind of shit that we'd do.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Maybe not as well though. Probably wouldn't put as much thought into it, and we'd get caught real fast.
Who have you voted for Employee of the Month?
No one. Because it says my mum. No, it says your mum, sir. Actually, okay. But she doesn't work here. I know, that's the pun. See, that's how terrible it'd be. Wouldn't be fucking going all out of our way to find out the real names of serial killers. We'd be shit at that. It's never April Fool's anyone ever again.
Well, I can't promise that.
Well, try. Do you want to know something that isn't an April Fool's?
Go on.
UFOs.
All right, that's good to know.
That's all.
All right, well, my next story.
No, not the Karens. You know why, right? You must have heard about what happened. What's going on? What's hippity happening?
Is there a new development?
The Pentagon have officially released 3 short videos showing unidentified aerial phenomena. So these are videos and things that have been going on that have been, I think, previously. But they basically show exactly the kind of movements and things that Bob Lazar has spoken about before.
Okay.
But this time they have come from the Pentagon. So, normally if someone goes, I used to work at Area 51 or I used to work at the Pentagon, UFOs are real. And we're like, dude, you definitely just got fired. This is the main thing I want to talk about. I didn't want to go too deep into the story, but what I wanted to talk about mainly was, how do you feel about the government releasing these after we as a public have felt that they have been there for so long? So, normally something like this happens and you go, okay, well, that's completely left wing, never saw that coming. But then sometimes as a public, you suspect something real fucking hard and then it turns out to be true and you're like, come on, we're the public, we know. But with UFOs, it's always kind of been like, we suspect it. Loads of people have always been like, yeah, it totally happened. This is why, and this is how. And you're like, you don't come from a great background of proof here. You are almost always a disgruntled ex-employee.
Yeah.
But then to have someone like the Pentagon be like, yep, what do you, how do you feel about that?
If it's similar to the other ones that we saw a while back that Tom DeLonge helped uncover, I don't know, without any real answers, because if they are still just unidentified, then I don't feel like you're any closer. I want an identified flying object.
I can point out a fucking plane, mate. What are you wanting from me?
No, yeah, fair enough.
There's a frisbee. The one thing I was thinking is, I feel like no one, like people in the world didn't flip their shit and lose it, when these came out and when others have come out. But I feel like, maybe it is just time to fucking just tell the truth a bit more.
Yeah.
Because I know there's some things that are never going to be out for public consumption because the public definitely wouldn't be able to handle them.
Yeah.
But maybe this is their way of testing whether the public loses their shit or not. Like, slowly drip feed the more believable stuff that isn't mind-blowing. And then one day, just out of nowhere, the news is being presented by an alien.
Yeah, it's definitely the best year to do it because there's so much random shit going on. It's just like, oh, we'll just chuck out some UFO videos and they'll just fly under the radar. But
UFO button. But no, that was all. I just wanted to get your opinion on it. Personally, I think they just need to come out and be honest, more honest about what goes on in regards to UFOs at places like Area 51 and stuff like that. There's absolutely no way that nothing goes on there. I mean, okay, I take that back. There is plausibly a way that nothing like that goes on. But all rumours are somewhat based in truth,
Yeah.
Somewhere deep down, they're founded in some form of truth. So that is all. And I'm happy that is all. Because I really want to hear the 2 Karens.
2 Karens?
Or the Karens. However many Karens there are.
The nice Karens.
The multiple Karens.
Yes. Okay, so Domino's in New Zealand offered a promotion of free pizza for nice Karens. This has backfired on them. So they, I think they tweeted saying, calling all nice Karens, with nice in brackets. And they wanted people named Karen to tell Domino's in 250 words how they were one of the nice ones.
Oh.
And it's faced quite severe backlash, saying...
Yeah, I imagine it has. You've targeted all Karens.
Yeah. They've said it's tone deaf, ignored more important issues, and rewarded privilege.
Okay, I need all of these. Well, the first one, tone deaf, I don't need that explained to me. I understand 100% where they've come in with that. But let's remember, this is a pizza company.
Yeah.
Okay? What could they do with a promotion that didn't ignore current issues? Free pizzas for everyone who hasn't had COVID?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
bring in your negative test result.
where was this? New Zealand?
Yeah, Australia and New Zealand.
Fucking New Zealand, they've got great, like, I said management, but I definitely meant government. So that'd be a lot of free pizza given away.
That is true. Bring in your positive COVID test.
Yeah. We made 8 pizzas today, and that was all.
And we're now shut for 2 weeks.
Yeah, because everybody here got the COVID.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, so it says the offer was immediately criticised, with many arguing Karen negativity was an issue that affected mostly privileged white women. Most of the time, Karens are entitled privileged white women. If a few people actually called Karen can't handle the meme, they should try handling 400 years of oppression, said one user on Twitter.
Okay.
I
don't know how to handle that one.
Yeah, the Domino's page for Domino's New Zealand page posted shortly afterwards, after they removed the campaign, saying, we are sorry. Throughout COVID-19, we've tried to bring a smile to customers' faces with our pizza and our social media. Our post came off the back of a number of situations in Victoria, Australia, which received international media coverage, including in New Zealand. A person who decided they didn't have to follow the mandate and wear a mask and took it out on retail workers. A person who breached a COVID-19 checkpoint, potentially endangering others. A person who was bored walking in a neighbourhood. These examples were widely known and publicly commented on. Bunnings Karen, Checkpoint Karen, and Karen from Brighton. We wanted to bring a smile to customers who are doing the right thing. Karen the nurse, Karen the teacher, Karen the mum. In New Zealand, because it lacked this important context, people interpreted this in a different way than we intended. We appreciate how this has happened and have listened. We've removed the post.
There was one really nice Karen going, "Oh, I was going to get free pizza."
Our intention was one of inclusivity only. Our pizza brings people together, and we only had this at the heart of the giveaway. We want you to know that we are always listening and learning, and when we get it wrong, we fix it. We are sorry.
That's a pretty good response. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
A lot of the times with bigger brands, they apologise in a way that you know they're apologising, but it's hard to tell where it starts and where it finishes. So they're like, "We're sorry that you didn't like what we said."
Yeah.
It's like a lady that works in the contact centre where we work. The best thing I've ever heard her say to a customer who you know is definitely wrong, but you can't be like, "You're wrong." She'll often say something like, "I'm sorry that that's your interpretation of the situation," or I'm sorry that you feel that way regarding the way that we've dealt with it.
Yeah.
So at no point it's ever like, "I'm sorry that we were wrong." It's always like, "I'm very sorry that you particularly feel that the way that we handled it, which was correct, isn't perfect for you."
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas that response from them was actually more like, "Okay, yeah, that's on us, soz. Here's why we did it. It's not an excuse, but here is why we did it."
Yeah. Yeah.
But fairs, we get it.
Because the whole Karen thing just seems to it's just exploded like this year, really.
It has,
hasn't it?
yeah, 100%.
Because it's been a meme for so long.
Yeah,
but I'd
say like late last year it started to get more traction.
Yeah, and it's just people are just using it for everything now.
Yeah, I find it hilarious. The reason I find it hilarious is because
you're not called Karen.
Well, I think my life would be much harder to explain if I was called Karen already. But I don't I mean, it might be different in America, but in like the UK, I've never heard anyone. I know a few Karens, and I've never heard someone who's called Karen have a Karen joke made at them, or never heard of it. So, correct me. Yeah, please do 100% correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it's quite a harmless meme, unless you are a Karen that's a bastard.
Yeah.
And simple fix for that: don't be a bastard. Just in general, to take away from this episode for everyone listening, don't be a dick. Unless your name is Dick, then that's fine. In that case, don't be a bastard. Now, would you like to know what I laughed at halfway through this episode?
Yes, I had forgotten, but yes, I do.
Okay, so partway through recording, I posted up that we were recording.
Right.
So it's not been up for very long. I posted up the recording and I said, send us a message. And no, granted, it's late. So, and I probably should have posted this up earlier if I actually wanted some responses, but I thought, fuck it, it'd be funny if it happened. There are 2 people that have responded. Both of them are very well known to you.
I think you might have a third message.
Oh, no. Oh, was that for you or for me?
It was for me.
Thanks. Thanks for killing my dreams. Okay, so Jono sent a message in saying, I love you, and that was for himself. So I heard you typing. I was like, that bastard's doing something. So the first message I get says, you know what they want. Now, there is an ongoing discussion with Ben, who I've never spoken to, except through social media, about the biscuit episode.
Yes.
And it's something that we'll probably do. And it's basically just going to be us talking about subjects and also discussing how good and in what order we rank biscuits while eating biscuits.
Yeah.
Now, we haven't done this yet because, believe it or not, I feel like we actually should have some form of quality control. And I don't think you guys just will want to hear us just munching biscuits. But I will find a way to do a biscuit episode.
Yep, the biscuits are coming.
They are. Crumbing. That's what you get. That's a 11:30 joke right there. He then messaged, also, tell Jono I miss his warm but firm embrace. Then this is the one that made me laugh. Ooh, ooh, ting tang, walla walla bing bang. And so my phone went off and I looked down and that's what it said. And so that's what made me laugh. What caught me off guard was that. And I sang it in my head when I read it, but I refuse to do that now. Do you know what? It's fucking nearly midnight, mate.
Oh, God, yes, it is.
Let's call it.
All right, mate.
Time of podcast death. 11:35 p.m. Have a lovely sleep. Sweet dreams. Dream of all the biscuits.
Always do.
And me swimming through them. And then jumping out and jumping into a pool of nugs.
Oh, God.
Have a wonderful rest of your evening, all 25 minutes of it.
You too.
And
mate.
to everyone else, I hope you're having a lovely day. And we'll speak to you next week. Tatty bye.